What's up, everybody? It's Mike Murray back here. Gonna do a Week 4 NFL breakdown like we always do, talking about Draftkings pricing. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Tell me the plays you're on this week, and tell me what you think of the video. Tell me anything you agree with, disagree with, because it's an interesting week here, Week 4 in the NFL. It's kind of an ugly slate, if I do say so myself. I think there's some good spots to go to. I think there's some clear plays and some, I don't want to say clear fades, but, I'm not going to be, this is a good week, in my opinion, to play GPPs, because I think that just having, like, a little bit of, like, a couple low-owned plays you're on could really set you apart from the field if they hit. Guys, I don't want to waste your time. Let's get right into the games. Let me pull this up here. Where is this? There it is. Okay, guys. Okay. So, starting out here, we have Tennessee at Atlanta. Okay. Now, listen, guys, this was interesting because if you saw that Delaney Walker was kind of talking, and usually I don't pay attention to stuff, but he was just talking about how, like, the team is just soft and nobody cares that they're 1-2 and yada yada yada. They kind of got that big up really big for that Cleveland game, and they've been, kind of lackluster since. This is a back-to-back road game for them. That's always a spot you got to be aware of. Back-to-back traveling on the road. Atlanta needs to win this game, man. I don't believe in Atlanta as a team this year. But this is a spot they need to win this game. It's funny because I like the Atlanta side to win the game, but I love attacking Atlanta's defense. Typically with Atlanta, we want to target them with running backs and guys, any type of pass catcher who goes over the middle. I don't feel great about any pass catcher on Tennessee, so I can't tell you to play Corey Davis. He's super cheap. I think Corey Davis is a pretty good receiver. I think he's in a miserable situation there with Tennessee. I think for his sake, if they switch to Tannehill, which I think could happen here, I really do. I thought that preseason, I think it even more now. I think a switch to Ryan Tannehill could come here, and that would be great for Corey Davis. But until then, I'm laying off the receivers. But you could play Corey Davis or Delaney here. I don't think there's a Derrick Henry spot. Derrick Henry's been really reliable this year if you haven't season long. But, typically, guys, we want to play guys, who catch passes against Atlanta. I mean, where they're susceptible against a run is that Dalvin Cook off-tackle style, which is kind of where Derrick Henry gets a lot of his production. So you definitely can. The guy in Tennessee, guys, that I would play, if anyone, is Derrick Henry. But there's a guy in his kind of, a couple guys in the price range that I like more than him. And we're going to get to those two guys in a little bit. On the Atlanta side, guys, I don't want to overload you with plays. It would be for me, Julio. No one's going to tell you not to play Julio. I might play Julio this week. He's not a guy that I'm jamming on my teams. Great play last week at 7,300. I way overthought that one, not playing him then. Good bounce back spot for Calvin Ridley. Getting a better matchup, man-to-man coverage. Malcolm Butler, way better matchup than last week. And he also said something interesting this week. Calvin Ridley said it's tough to get open against zone coverage. So keep that in mind. If a team's playing a lot of zone, probably fade Ridley. Tennessee plays a lot of man-to-man defense, to my knowledge. So I kind of like Ridley here. Also, I'm not a big Devonta Freeman guy this year, but if you believe in him, this could be a spot to play him. It's not a great matchup by any stretch of the imagination. But he looked pretty good last week against Indianapolis. So, if you believe in Devonta Freeman, I'm probably not going to go there. But definitely a week where he could have a big game, fall in the end zone a few times, catch some passes for some production. So I think my play here would be Calvin Ridley in a bounce-back game. So let's move it along to the next game. New England at Buffalo. Okay, guys. Okay. On the New England side, it's one guy, James White. I'm not as high on him as I was originally early in the week because I saw that he's getting touted by a lot of people, and White to me was going to be a guy that I was going to be on if he was going to be kind of lower owned under the radar. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Still a good play. James White would be the guy in the past that I play. the Buffalo side. Guys, my take here is I think the Bills are going to come to play with this game. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they're going to come to play. I really do. I think you're going to see the best performance out of the Bills that you've seen this year. The Patriots are all banged up on the offensive line. They're banged up, man. This is a spot where I really think that Buffalo is either going to cover this game or they're going to win the game outright. Okay? I like the Bills in the money line. I like the Bills to keep this game really close. Maybe even make the Patriots come from behind and win the game late. It's going to be a tough, grinded-out game, my opinion. Might not happen. Okay? We'll wait and see. For fantasy, for DFS on the Bills, I'm not paying $4,700 for Beasley. John Brown is kind of in play, but guys, I just kind of like the Bills' defense in an ugly, ugly game. I don't see this game being high scoring. I think it's gonna be an ugly game. So the Bills' defense and keep it moving. Here's the game: KC at Detroit. I love this game. I think this game's going over because I think Kansas City is scoring on Detroit, and I think Detroit's going to score on Kansas City. So that game's going over the total. For Kansas City, man, I'm on Mahomes to Watkins or Mecole Hardman. Those are the guys that I like because I want to avoid Darius Slay. I know he hasn't been great, but that was a matchup against Keenan Allen that he kind of was getting burned. Whatever, it's not a big deal. Watkins been playing a lot in the slot. That's where Detroit's been getting killed. So Sammy Watkins, chiefly in play here. Chiefly in play. You see what I did there? Did not do that on purpose. Didn't do that on purpose. Also, Mecole Hardman, 5,100. He could crush that price tag at the ownership he's going to be at. Those are the two pass catchers I'd play. I'm not on Kelsey this week. I like other guys at the tight end position. On the Detroit side, it's two guys. Well, kind of 2.5 guys. I like Carry-On. I like Galladay. And you can throw Stafford in there, but I kind of like going up to Mahomes this week. I think a lot of people are going to try to go cheap at QB this week, pay down its position, and it will give you different roster build if you pay up. So I like Mahomes this week. I also like Stafford in this game. I haven't really, when I do the Saturday update, I'll probably pinpoint the guy in Detroit. Right now, man, I'm kind of more on Carry-On than Galladay. And that's kind of a flip from the original video I was on. But I just think this is a spot where they're just going to feed Carry-On, try to control the game, much like most teams do when they play the Chiefs. Keep that offense off the field. That's what New England did when that big Sunday Night Football game last year. Their running backs went crazy in that game. So I like Carry-On here. And I think you could play Galladay in Mahomes to Watkins and run it back with Carry-On and Galladay. That works too. Or you could play TJ Hawkinson. A little bit too low owned for me. Like I've mentioned previously, I like going with more. If the guy's not going to be above 5% owned as a tight end, I don't play him. Something I've noticed in winning Millie Maker lineups the last 2 years. I think there's only been one instance in the last 2 or 3 years where a tight end on the winning Millie Maker team was under 5% owned. So tight end, we generally want to go above 5% owned on the projected ownership. But you do have to keep in mind, some of those websites, you got to give or take a couple percentage points with the ownership. It's tough to predict. They're wrong a lot of times. Tough job. We're not saying anything to discredit them. It's a tough job projecting ownership. So, yeah, I love this game. I'm gonna have a lot of exposure to this game. Love this game. The next game is also an interesting game. Oakland at Indy. This is an interesting game, man. We have to pay attention to the status of T.Y. Hilton here. Very interesting. Okay, the guy I like on Oakland is Darren Waller. I think Darren Waller's really, Darren Waller's in play here, man. They've mentioned they want to get Josh Jacobs more involved, catching passes. This would be a really good matchup indoors, low owned. I think Josh Jacobs, another guy on Oakland that I really like here. On the Indy side, I'm a little bit concerned with Marlon Mack's calf injury still. It's still a little bit concerned about his calf injury. I think he's going to be pretty popular this week, in the 15 to 18% range, maybe even slightly lower. A little bit concerned about his calf injury still. Calf strains are they're lingering injuries, and you do have to pay attention to them. If T.Y. Hilton misses, this could be a good spot for Paris Campbell or Deion Kane or one of those guys. We have to pay attention. I have not seen the practice report, but we'll have to pay attention to that. But it's an interesting game. I mean, Darren Waller is a beast. My problem with playing Darren Waller this week, he's on all my teams right now, but it feels like a little bit of a fish move You know, it feels like he went off last week when he was low owned. Now he's in a better matchup. He's higher priced, and now at least I'm on him because I think that Indy's a terrible defense against tight ends and running backs. So, um, you know, I like him. I really do. I think he's a baller. I mean, he's a in best ball drafts. Not that anyone cares, but my late round tight end was Mike Gesicki. And it's clear that the best ball late round tight end this year is Darren Waller. I didn't, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Nobody cares about my best ball teams. They're doing pretty good, but nobody cares. So let's keep this moving. LAC at Miami. Guys, I like two guys on LAC. I like Eckler and I like Mike Williams. I think Mike Williams will be low owned. I don't like Keenan Allen in this spot. Great price point, 7,600 on DK. Going to be mega chalk. Problem is, guys, LAC has been in neutral or bad game or negative game scripts. They've been having either come from behind or in really tight games, so they've had to throw the ball a lot. So I don't think they're gonna have to throw the ball a ton against Miami. That's why I like Mike Williams. You hope they hit a big play down the field. He pays off his price tag at a low ownership. I wish he was a little bit cheaper than 4,800 because DK Metcalf is right there too. We'll talk about him later, but Mike Williams is in play here. I also, like I said, I think this is a smash spot for Austin Eckler. I think you have to play him in this matchup. Right now, he's a lock for me. His last game is a workhorse contract year. I like that a lot. I liked Austin Eckler when I first saw the slate. I like him even more now. On the Miami side, I'm not playing anybody on Miami. You could play Kenyon Drake. LAC's run defense is not good, but I'm not playing Kenyon Drake. Washington at the Giants. Guys, be careful with this game. This game's going to be really popular. The guys in the Giants, I'm not playing Wayne Gallman. The guys in the Giants that I like here are Sterling Shepard and our buddy Ramat Ali likes Darius Slayton. I was kind of looking into him. He has a nice player profile playerprofiler.com. He has a very nice athletic testing scores, which I like for a receiver. Definitely in play here, man. I actually like that. I've been getting too cute with my plays this year, and this, I'm a little bit hesitant just because me personally, I've been getting way too cute with some of my plays this year, and it's really come to bite me in the butt. So, he's definitely in play. It's a good Washington secondary is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I'm not going to play Daniel Jones this week. You can play him if you want. I like Daniel Jones as a player a lot. It's a great matchup. He's way too cheap. But guys, I think he's going to be really popular. I think he's going to be over 15 to 18% owned. I'm not going to stop you from playing him. It's a great matchup, like I said. But on the other side, guys, I'm not playing Terry McLaurin. He's going to be chalk, and he's got he popped up in the injury report today with a hamstring injury. The guy that I would actually play here would be Chris Thompson. And I don't like it that much. Because, guys, you got to be careful playing underdog running backs on the road. If you do, guys, if you're entering the Millie Maker and you play two dog running backs, make sure that, like for example, if I play three running backs and I got Austin Eckler's one, he's a favorite. That's fine. Kerryon Johnson, he's an underdog. And you play a third one, you'd prefer him to be a favorite. But if he is an underdog, you want him to be a guy who, exclusively catches passes, like a Tariq Cohen or a Chris Thompson. That's what I've noticed in my career. Just a little tip for you guys. I'm not saying, like I said, you can't play multiple dog running backs. Just make sure one of them is kind of a pass catcher, more of a pass catcher. Okay, so I'm not really. We're gonna be careful with this game. This game's gonna be very high owned, and you gotta be careful. Cleveland at Baltimore. It's an interesting game, a little bit. For Cleveland, I'm not playing anybody on Cleveland. For Baltimore, I think this is going to be kind of an uglier game. I kind of like. I liked Mark Andrews originally, but I'm a little bit worried still with that injury he has. I kind of just like Ingram in the defense here. I think it's going to be a low score and grinded out game, so I'm on Ingram in the defense here. Carolina at Houston. Guys, this is a low price receiver that I feel really good about this week. I'm not a big Curtis Samuel guy from the preseason. this is the spot I've been waiting for to target Houston. Okay, I've been waiting for someone to burn them over the top, and I think that this is a Curtis Samuel game where he can smash value. I really do. It's 4,600 is a joke of a price for his upside. We needed a quarterback who can get the ball over the top, and I think that can be Kyle Allen. So you can play Samuel with Kyle Allen. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. Um, you could play Greg Olsen. I'm probably not going to play him. Sorry, guys. I wrote something down here. I don't. Who's that? Oh, okay. I apologize. Okay, yeah. So on the other side, I'm actually not on the Houston side here. I wrote down Will Fuller, but I'm actually kind of not on Will Fuller anymore. I think he's going to be a little bit too popular for me, and I kind of prefer it with Carolina guys who cross over the middle of the field. I really they can get burned in a perimeter, but like I said, I like attacking them with more tight ends and slot receivers. So I'm really not on the Houston side here. I wouldn't play anybody from Houston. Tampa Bay, the Rams. It's an interesting matchup. We're going to see if Tampa Bay can keep the success they have. They played against a poor Giants pass defense. Now they play against an improved Rams pass defense. That, if you look, man, the Rams have really started to. They were bad against receivers last year. They've really kind of fixed their secondary. Peters is playing a lot better. Tali's pretty good. So I think that this is a. I originally didn't know who on Tampa I was gonna like. I like OJ Howard in this spot. I think this is a good spot, sneaky spot that OJ Howard can kind of smash upside. Chris Godwin just popped up on the injury report today. I think this is a really sneaky OJ Howard spot. Again, the Rams let up two huge games to my knowledge against tight ends last year. They got crushed by three. They got crushed by Jared Cook the first game of the season. They got crushed by George Kittle at the end of the season, and Travis Kelce had a big game against him. So I like OJ Howard in this spot. I like OJ Howard a lot in this spot. On the other side, Cooper Kupp. You compare him with Jared Goff if you want. You know, you could do a double stack with Goff and two pass catchers. I'm probably wouldn't go there, but I like Cooper Kupp a lot. Cooper Kupp's way too cheap, and I really like Cooper Kupp in this spot. Seattle at Arizona. This is another game that's going to have a lot of decent amount of ownership, especially on Will Disley. I was on Will Disley in the beginning of the week when it looked like his ownership is going to be reasonable. He's looking like he's going to be pretty big chalk. Gives me some concern. I don't think I think Will Disley's a solid player. I don't think he's a guy that deserves to be on the road high owned. Okay, my player from this game would be DK Metcalf, but the problem with Metcalf is we have not seen Arizona get burned over the top yet. You know, we haven't seen them get burned in the over the top, which gives me some concern. I'm kind of not as on the Seattle side as I thought I was going to be, you know. But if I did play a pass catcher, I do believe it would be DK Metcalf and not Will Disley. I kind of like some other tight ends a little bit better than him this week for their upside. On the other side, I like David Johnson in this spot. Okay, with Seattle, I like targeting Seattle with boundary receivers that can go vertical. Not really. Christian Kirk can go vertical, but he plays in the slot. He definitely could have a big game here. I mean, I like Christian Kirk as a player a lot. I'm not going to stop you from playing him, but I think this is a good spot for David Johnson. And it's not so much with David Johnson what we would want. It's some rushing yards, him to get in the end zone once on the ground, and then to kind of catch some passes through the air. Alvin Kamara had a big game against Seattle when catching the ball in the backfield. And I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to see that and going to probably feed David Johnson a lot. Catching passes. His price is a joke. 6,800 is way too cheap for David Johnson. Just be clear, guys. We're not targeting Seattle's rush defense here. Okay? Their rush defense, their front seven is pretty good. Okay? This is more we're just betting on David Johnson's talent and hoping he has a multi-touchdown game here. That's at least what I'm looking at. Because I like David Johnson in seasonal formats. I would try to get him a lot of him right now if I could. Because I think that what I said preseason is about to happen. I think Cliff Kingsbury realizes that this is not going as smoothly as he would like. That they need to get some more offensive line help to help Kyler Murray. They need to get they need to make some improvements to their roster. That's not going to happen until the offseason. they need to feed David Johnson to keep this offense in a rhythm. Kyler looks a little, little overwhelmed out there. The offense looks a little bit sporadic. So I would expect them to feed David Johnson here. But maybe they don't. Maybe they don't listen to me. Oh, well. Okay, the next game is Minnesota at Chicago. Guys, this is a game that both teams have to win. Both teams already have lost to Green Bay in the division. Neither team can afford to lose this game. This is a really simple game for me. I like Dalvin Cook. The Minnesota defense is in play. Okay, definitely in play against Trubisky. Trubisky's not good. Minnesota has to win this game. Okay, but so does Chicago. I like Minnesota more here, though. Okay, so I like Cook in the defense for Minnesota. On the other side, it's really simple. I like Allen Robinson just because for his price. $5,600 is way too cheap for Allen Robinson with his talent. He's going to have some boom games. It's tough to trust Trubisky. I know it's tough to trust Mitch Trubisky. He's just a guy that's in play. I'm not saying to go out of your way to play Allen Robinson, but he's in play. I'm not really scared of Xavier Rhodes anymore. I think Xavier Rhodes is gonna get attacked sometime this season. He doesn't have a great grade on Pro Football Focus. Definitely a spot for $5,600 where you could play Allen Robinson. I would not stop anyone from doing that. And if you're going back to Dalvin Cook, guys, until we see Dalvin Cook fail, we why not just keep playing him? I mean, he's really good. This role he has in the zone running scheme is really, really strong. And even if he doesn't have a huge game rushing, he's the type of guy who can fall in the end zone 2 or 3 times and catch a couple passes. So Dalvin's definitely in play. Last game on the slate, Jacksonville at Denver. Whew, man, it's an ugly, ugly game. It's an ugly, ugly game. I don't even know who to play in this game. I would probably just suggest to just ignore this game. Okay? I wrote down Jacksonville D, but that was before Ramsey. It looks like he's not going to play, I guess, in this game. I can't play the Denver defense. They've looked so bad this year. They're not generating any pressure. So, I don't like them. I just don't like this game. I would avoid this game. Yeah, guys, that's going to be basically it. I'm just going to wrap up with a couple closing thoughts on the slate overall. I like more so cherry picking a part of that Giants game more than I like stacking it up or playing Daniel Jones with a pass catcher. And if I did, I'd play him with Darius Slayton or do something different because I think Shepard will be chalked by the end of the week. I do. I think him and Jones will be too chalky to play as a stack. So I play one of them or deviate, mix it up, deviate, go do something a little bit different there. It is a good spot. Washington, short week. Washington's total garbage. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think anything else I want to wrap this video up with about this slate. Like I say, guys, it's kind of an ugly slate. It's kind of a slate where I think you just need to keep it simple. You don't need to do anything too crazy. I think Curtis Samuel is a big key to this slate because I think Curtis Samuel could break the slate. I think Curtis Samuel could have a 30-point game against Houston. Houston's secondary is trash. He finally has a guy who can get him the ball downfield. It seems like he has better chemistry with Kyle Allen than DJ Moore does, especially deep down the field. So he's a guy that I really like this week. Right before I let you guys go, I just want to check to see who's on my team. I have 3 teams right now. Just going to look at who's on my teams so I'm consistent. See if I forgot anybody. No, that's basically yeah. And on all 3 teams, I got a core of Austin Eckler and Kerryon Johnson. Feel pretty good about that. I feel pretty good about that. My first running back was Marlon Mack, but like I said, guys, that calf injury is just kind of bothering me, man. We have to pay attention to the stats of T.Y. Hilton because if T.Y. Hilton's out, it makes not that they're targeting their receivers